With 2020 NBA free agency approaching, many teams will have difficult decisions to make, changes that can either elevate their title hopes or backfire. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. In 2019, the Los Angeles Lakers made the absolute right decision, trading away their young core for superstar Anthony Davis, resulting in a championship. The Philadelphia 76ers, meanwhile, gave Tobias Harris and Al Horford a combined whooping near $300 million combined, an absolute travesty of a decision. The Clippers gave up their entire future for below average playoff P, and we might already be halfway done with the Kawhi George experiment. Even after free agency, plenty of contenders will still make moves for the 2021 deadline, but let's take a look at the toughest choices each team must address. Starting in alphabetical order with the Atlanta Hawks, to decide if John Collins is the true second star to pair with Trae Young, a young team on the rise, second best player when healthy. Acquiring Clint Capella created a weird fit, the 22-year-old's most deadly finishing at the rim, being extension eligible. Will the franchise give him a max quality deal or wait till he becomes a restricted free agent? A 21.5 point, 10 rebound guy during the 2020 season. We'll have to see how he progresses, and if defense can improve, I do believe the team will give him an extension. The Boston Celtics, the Gordon Hayward situation in the final year of his contract hasn't been worth the money. With injuries, not looking like his former self, will likely opt in and play the season. The question whether they trade him for another piece, a big man with size to help the undersized Daniel Tice, the 30-year-old now seen as a good role player, unlikely he will see a single season worth $34 mil. Danny Ainge will pull the trigger on anything. An expiring contract, if Boston remains the same exact team in 2021, still not good enough to win it all. The Brooklyn Nets, to find a third star or not, Caris LeVert played some of his best basketball in the bubble, looked like a legit star, but has some injury concerns. With Kyrie and KD the faces of the franchise, whether the team trades LeVert for a proven star like Bradley Beal or a Jrue Holiday type player will be up to Sean Marks. Viewed as championship or bust, they should likely resign sharpshooter Joe Harris. With the front courts of Jared Allen and old DeAndre Jordan, are they good enough to play big minutes in the postseason, or will they try to sign more bigs, snatch a four like LaMarcus Aldridge? Too many questions to answer. The Charlotte Hornets, draft the right guy at number 3. Michael Jordan has had many awful draft choices throughout his tenure, from bust on bust on bust, Kwame Bust Brown, Michael Bust Gilchrist, Adam Bust Morrison. Charlotte needs a franchise type player to save the team from embarrassment. LaMelo Ball and James Wiseman should likely be the candidates. The team has Rozier and Graham, not very high ceilings. Should consider extending Devontae, who's on a nice bargain. Charlotte most definitely needs a big man like Wiseman. Mitch Kupchak needs to work his magic. The Chicago Bulls, starting fresh with Billy Donovan, team chemistry and leadership badly needed, but since they won't be too much of a threat in the East, can only look to add more pieces, figure out who they want with the number 4 pick. Ball, Edwards, and Wiseman seems to be the top 3. A group of Isaac Okoro, Obi Toppin, and Killian Hayes will be in the mix. Personally, I go with Hayes, a point guard, a position the team lacks. Will likely get rid of Chris Dunn. The Cleveland Cavaliers figure out what to do with their bigs. Andre Drummond, Tristan Thompson, and Kevin Love will be extremely shocking if all 3 of these guys still on the team after the 2021 season. Love's contract continues to be a disaster, hasn't shown good leadership qualities. Very angry at his young guys last season. Focusing on the 5th will be a high regard, get more building pieces. Shocking they didn't trade Tristan Thompson. Team will likely be in a lose-lose situation if the young guys don't improve. The Dallas Mavericks do everything they could to create cap space and avoid signing major free agents to create room for 2021 Giannis. A trio of Doncic, Giannis, and Porzingis will break the entire NBA, 2 of the best in the 2020s, perhaps maybe the 2 best players in a few years. Doncic taking the Clippers to 6 by himself without Dwight Powell and an injured Porzingis already tells us about his greatness. Team has absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain, trying to sign the 2-time MVP, maybe the next dynasty if it comes true, absolutely worth the risk. The Denver Nuggets, deciding which forward to keep. Jokic and Murray, 2 franchise stars, one of the best duos in the league, excellent chemistry together. Paul Millsap, a free agent, likely gone, and old Torrey Craig restricted. Jeremy Grant, a player option, could get more money from another team. Denver don't have the money to get all 4 of them back. Michael Porter showing what he can be capable of, might make a dramatic leap next season. If he becomes the clear-cut 3rd option, the Nuggets will be contending again. The Detroit Pistons, stuck in no man's land, they have to trade Derrick Rose for the sake of helping his career career finished strong. 24-year-old Christian Wood, one of the most improved players, didn't even have a guaranteed contract and had to beat out Joe Johnson. His production allowed them to get rid of Drummond. The team needs to put a price tag on him as a valuable asset. Who knows how good he will be on a good team, or is he just a good numbers guy on a bad team? The franchise continues to stink, likely still stuck with the declining banged up Blake Griffin and his contract. The Golden State Warriors trading the number 2 pick for a proven star. One of the best GMs, Bob Myers, will have his hands full. Steph and Clay hopeful to bounce back. Draymond fits great with them. Team needs to add a legit center. Marquise Chris isn't the answer. Andrew Wiggins shown no growth. I won't be shocked if the Dubs trade him. Even signing a guy like Marc Gasol or Gallinari in free agency helps. Trade Wiggins for role players off the bench. Just like that, the team will be back to contention. The Houston Rockets, be a normal team again. Just have at least one guy who's 6'10", and Harden being willing to adapt to a different style. Super small ball ain't cutting it. Harden's already 31, can easily score all the points he wants in the regular season. Won't matter if he loses in the playoffs again. Being super predictable of their offense, nobody wants Russell Westbrook in his contract. A new coach and a new system. The team needs new shooters and should really look to explore Westbrook, but first focus on a good head coach. The Indiana Pacers getting assets for Victor Oladipo, who made it clear he doesn't want to be with the Pacers, showing poor body language and didn't seem to care. Not a guy you want to give the max. Only one great season in 2018. Hasn't been the same since the injury. Having him a number 1 option just adds to another first round exit. The Los Angeles Clippers, Montrezl Harrell's free agency. He's lost plenty of value after being terrible in the postseason, amazing in the regular season, but can't shoot, can't guard anybody taller than him. Do the Clippers try to get a legit big like Marc Gasol for a 1-year deal for cheap and let Harrell walk? I even considered the team signing a point guard like Rondo, who's way better than overrated Beverly, and pay him because of his playoff experience and being able to facilitate. The Los Angeles Lakers decide whether to trade Kyle Kuzma or let him walk after 2021, proving he's not the third option and looked nothing more like an average role player all playoffs. An awkward fit, constantly gets blamed, still plenty of value until he struggles more. Better for him to play better on a bad team so he gets his money. The Memphis Grizzlies figuring out Josh Jackson, if he's legit or not, close to being called a bust. If he don't pan out, will be a free agent in 2021 and perhaps out the league. Now the bar set super low. Play well for the G League. A great athlete, but still can't shoot. If he still struggles, the Grizz can convince dumb teams to take him for more useful players. The Miami Heat, utilizing cap space, already a legit team. Flexibility is key for attracting stars. Goran Dragic might have had his last legit season, aging. Jay Crowder, heavily depended upon, simply isn't good enough. Perhaps Pat Riley can reconnect with Gallo again. I believe the team will low-key make big moves in 2021. The Milwaukee Bucks, convincing Giannis to stay, easier said than done. His role players lack championship toughness. The team will continue dominating all regular season, but Coach Bud collapses in the postseason, doesn't put his superstar in the best position to succeed, not going all out on their minutes. Milwaukee needs to get to the finals and go all out to win it all. Another second round exit, their future screwed. The Minnesota Timberwolves decision with their number 1 pick, because this year's draft isn't loaded with a guaranteed generational type talent. They could package the number 1 pick for perhaps Brandon Ingram in a sign and trade deal. Carl Towns growing very impatient with the franchise. If nothing's done, another 30-win season, he'll be demanding a trade soon. The New Orleans Pelicans, whether or not to trade Jrue Holiday, they will likely give Brandon Ingram the max. Jrue under contract through 2022. Playoff caliber teams have shown interest. New Orleans also needs more shooters. Understand Van Gundy's system. Playoff or disappointment next season, no in between. The New York Knicks finding a good point guard. Their Achilles heels for many years, that's only 20% of their concerns. Rumors about Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook, those guys alone won't help the team go anywhere. Having the number 8 pick, super risky again. If Killian Hayes still on board, the team should draft him. Likely another terrible season to say the least. The OKC Thunder figuring out a timeline in rebuilding. CP3 in his mid-30s. Gallo wants to sign elsewhere. Schroeder draws interest from other teams. Steven Adams' contract will run out. SGA the future. Luke Dort a huge bargain. With many future draft picks, picks, the team needs to figure out what direction they need to go. The Orlando Magic to decide whether to keep or trade Aaron Gordon. The team continues to be average, nothing more. Gordon, a weird fit, hasn't developed into the player we thought he'd be. Too many forwards. The franchise needs more perimeter guys. 2 years left on his contract. Injury prone. I believe Orlando trades him. The Philadelphia 76ers figuring out how to build around Embiid and Simmons. Of all the head coaches available, they went with the king of 3-1 shivers. Doc overrated Rivers. Elton Brand a disaster. Al Horford and Tobias Harris's contract dumpster fires. The team likely get bounced in round 2. If Rivers couldn't figure out how to make the Clippers work with PG and Kawhi, what makes you think he could figure out Simmons and Embiid? The Phoenix Suns keep Devin Booker happy. The only perfect team in the bubble. Monty Williams seems to be the right coach. Booker under contract till 2024. Team looks motivated to play hard and much improved from previous years. Start by resigning Aaron Baines and Dario Saric would be a good start. The Portland Trail Blazers deciding on Carmelo Anthony's future, whose career appeared to be over before the Blazers gave him a shot. Worked out well, a great comeback story. Anthony wants to come back with the team unless other teams don't give him a bigger role. If no big moves will be made, Portland will continue getting bounced by better teams in the playoffs. The Sacramento Kings resigning Bogdanović. Let's be honest, this team won't attract any good free agents. A brutal franchise the last decade and a half, a deal worth about 4 years $70 million would be decent. Luke Walton hasn't been a good coach. Marvin Bagley, injury prone, has bust written all over him. The San Antonio Spurs, has the journey finally come to an end and the new one needs to start? Does the franchise now fully accept a rebuild starting right now or wait a little longer? Missing the playoffs for the first time since '97, the rebuild has been inevitable since Kawhi left. DeMar and LaMarcus will find new homes. Popovich inching closer to the finish line. Good things must come to an end. The Toronto Raptors managing their own free agents. Masai Ujiri, one of the best GMs. Van Vliet, Gasol, and Ibaka all unrestricted. The team's still extremely competitive. Other teams fascinated for Van Vliet will give him loads of money. Toronto might be hesitant to resign him, whether they want to create cap space for 2021 or pay their guys this summer. The Utah Jazz decide who gets extended between Mitchell and Gobert. Rudy qualifies for the Supermax, but is he a Supermax player? Who's limited on offense? I don't think so. Mitchell could get a deal around 170 for 5 seasons. Gobert already 28 years old and shown superstar glimpses in the playoffs. I believe the team will try to build around Mitchell. The Washington Wizards deciding to keep Bradley Beal or not, which might depend on how good or bad John Wall plays. Beal's sick and tired of losing seasons and better than ever. Wall likely will not be as good and already 30. If they trade Beal, the team better get a bunch of trade assets at the right price. A rebuild feels 50-50 for now. Thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe for more content, more good stuff coming soon. I love all of you. See you next time.